why I had to drop out as maid of honor 2 months before the wedding. All names have been changed for privacy reasons. I need to vent and get some advice. I was recently a maid of honor for my friend Jamie's wedding, but I had to step down 2 months before the big day and 3 weeks before the bachelorette trip. Here's why. Jamie's mom passed away 6 months before her wedding, which was incredibly tough for her. Just before her mom got sick, Jamie fired her original maid of honor for being too cheap and promoted my friend Haley and I to be her dual maid of honors. Given her mom's condition, we didn't bother her about wedding planning, respecting her wishes. After her mom passed, we gave Jamie space, but checked in to ensure she was okay and wanted to stick with the original dates she had planned. On a call planning the bridal shower and bachelorette, Jamie had an attitude and was distant. I expressed that I didn't want the bachelorette trip on my birthday over Memorial Day weekend due to travel and cost issues and prior family plans. She was frustrated that our spending budget for the bridal shower was $200 each, since it was just Haley and I in the bridal party. Jamie expected us to cover everything, citing her mom's death. We explained our financial situations, which were tight, but offered help in other ways. Jamie then sent long texts expressing disappointment and saying we weren't good friends. We tried to be understanding, given her emotional state. Then she changed plans last minute, demanding we arrive a day early for a dress fitting. Unfortunately, I'd been in a car accident and was dealing with nerve damage and sciatica. The drive from New Jersey to New Hampshire is typically 6 hours, so I planned to split it into 2 days for my back. Jamie was furious.
Wow.
Calling us bad friends. When Haley and I arrived, Jamie was cold and distant. She barely acknowledged that I'd been in an accident, replying, "Oh," and refused help from her fiancé to carry our heavy bags, even though he was just watching TV.
Wow.
After our long drive, they offered us 3-day-old pizza, which we declined, suggesting we go out to eat. Jamie was frustrated and told us to pick the place. At the nail salon, Jamie excluded me from the conversation. On the way to pick up balloons, she almost caused an accident due to road rage.
Oh my God.
She then shared she wouldn't talk to her sister-in-law after the honeymoon because she didn't want her kids at the wedding, nor her fiancé's grandma in the photos, despite how kind they had been to her.
Wow.
At dinner, Jamie's fiancé joined, and they expected us to split the bill 3 ways, including Jamie's portion. This was surprising, since we had traveled far and spent a lot on planning. Back at the condo, Jamie and her fiancé accused us of being bad friends, primarily upset about my split drive. I explained my situation, but Jamie broke down, threatening to hurt herself and demanding we come 2 days early to the wedding. The next day, after the bridal shower, Haley and I decided we couldn't continue as maid of honors. We had to cancel all bachelorette trip reservations since they were under our credit cards. This was a heartbreaking decision, but we couldn't handle the emotional and physical toll anymore. Has anyone else experienced something similar? How did you handle it?
This is nuts. Do we have any? Is it over?
No.
Oh, you have an update?
I have another update.
See, that's why I stopped and that's why I fumbled and I thought I'll say something and I was like, poetic justice.
Update. 1 year later update. Hi everyone. Last year I posted about stepping down as maid of honor for my friend Jamie a few weeks before her wedding. At the time, I felt conflicted and guilty, but so many of you helped me see I had valid reasons to walk away. I wanted to give a follow-up now that it has been a year because what happened recently confirmed I wasn't imagining things.
Yay.
Remember Haley, the other bridesmaid? She stayed longer than I did, a few days, but eventually she experienced the same treatment I had. On the exact 1-year anniversary of Jamie's wedding, both of us received unexpected packages from her in the mail.
Oh my God. Stop.
I haven't read this and I'm scared.
I'm scared, but I'm also angry. It's like, really, on your anniversary?
Get a fucking life.
Focus on your husband. Focus on your anniversary. You're going to really send out. Okay, continue.
Well, now we got to see what is in these crazy care packages. Inside were multi-page typed letters. They were formal in tone and signed at the bottom with things like, quote, "yours truly," and, quote, "your perfect match little." These were not apologies. They were long, rambling, and accusatory. In them, Jamie blamed us for abandoning her, questioned our character, dragged in our families, and even referenced very private things we had gone through in our personal lives.
Oh God.
She compared our friendship to a, quote, "performance improvement plan," said we were just a chapter in her life, and painted herself as the victim. She didn't just send letters. She mailed back copies of old letters Haley and I had written her years ago, returned like evidence. She included photos of us together, and most disturbingly, she sent me her mother's funeral book, which had pictures of me and her mom inside the book from the service. None of these packages had a return address. The fact that she chose to do this on her wedding anniversary speaks volumes. Instead of celebrating her marriage, she spent that day digging up old letters, printing photos, writing pages of blame, and mailing them out. For Haley, this was the final straw. For me, it was the validation I needed that my instincts had been right all along. I no longer feel guilty for stepping down. Looking back, I see a very clear pattern: love bombing when she wanted something, guilt tripping when she didn't get her way, and rewriting history to make herself the victim. It wasn't that I was a bad friend. This is simply how Jamie treats the people closest to her. If you are ever questioning whether it's okay to walk away from a friendship that makes you feel drained, blamed, or unsafe, please know that it is. Sometimes the healthiest and bravest thing you can do is create distance.
Am I the asshole for telling my friend I no longer want to hear about her boy drama? I,
No.
25 male, have a friend, 24 female, who is constantly wrapped up in boy drama. Over the past few years, she's had issues with several guys. Not at the same time, to be clear, she only dates one guy at a time. But these men are walking red flags from the start. They pour their energy into her when it suits them, then disappear when they lose interest. Some of the things these guys say are downright crazy, controlling, which is ironic considering their behaviour, and just plain rude. This always leads to long phone calls and text conversations with me, where she's crying and I'm trying to comfort her, offer advice, or just be there for her. Then, without fail, the same guys show up again weeks later, acting like nothing happened, and she takes them back, and the cycle repeats. Some of these guys have done this multiple times, and it's never her calling it off. It always ends on their terms. Recently, we went through the same cycle again with one particular guy. A few weeks later, we were out to dinner and I saw his name pop up on her phone. We made eye contact and she laughed. I'm not sure what came over me, but I asked what was funny. She said, nothing. I followed up and said, honestly, I think you need to learn what boundaries are. She looked shocked that I called her out, but I kept going. I said, if you don't set boundaries, you're going to keep getting hurt, and that continuing to entertain men who keep dropping you is just inviting pain. I told her it felt like all the time and energy I put into supporting her was a waste if she was going to keep going back to these guys who've hurt her. I said I'd always be there for her in other areas of her life, but I no longer wanted to hear about her boy drama if she was going to keep repeating the same cycle. Things got awkward. Dinner ended, we went home, and I figured that was that. Now my phone is blowing up with messages from mutual friends calling me insensitive and a bad friend. Even her mum messaged me. Maybe I was a little blunt, but honestly, I felt like she needed a wake-up call. So, am I the arsehole?
No. A few months ago, I found out that my husband fathered a child outside of our marriage. Here's a bit of a background. My husband and I have been together for 11 years, married for 5, and we have 3 children together. During the first year of our relationship, he cheated on me, something I suspected back then, but we never talked about it. Just recently, I received confirmation that it did happen. Fast forward to a couple of months ago, I was joking around and asked him if he had any children out there. What I heard next felt like a knife straight through my chest. After hesitating and shaking, he finally said, yes. My eyes almost popped out of my head and my throat went completely dry. I'm still in shock, to say the least. He has apologised, but at this point, I don't think an apology or even 1,000 could fix this type of betrayal. My heart is broken and I honestly don't think I'll ever be the same. The hardest part is that I really don't know what to do, even though deep down I know the answer. I love him and I love our family, but I feel like if I stay, I'll never fully heal because that child will always be a living reminder of the betrayal. So ladies, please help a sister out with your advice. I'll truly appreciate it. By the way, he's 33 and I'm 31.
Divorce. That's honestly my solution. I think you need to get a lawyer. Talk to a lawyer, get advice on what to do because as you said, you don't think that you can move past that. So get your ducks in a row and divorce that man.